The Psychology of Internet Pornography, Violence, Objectification, and Education. Pornhub Yin Review in 2018 found that it had 92 million visitors per day, 57,000 searches per minute, and had 271 videos rated and 22 comments every minute. The United Kingdom Digital Act of 2017 required all porn sites to have age restrictions, which were needed to put in driver's licenses or credit card details to prove the age. As you can see, pornography, well, internet pornography to be specific, has a dramatic impact on internet parlance, on the culture of the internet in general, on how people use the internet, and it has effects on like sexuality and all of that. Moving along, Cooper in 1998 found that there was a AAA engine or AAA factors that drove porn usage. They included accessibility, which is the ability to access thousands of sites at the click of a button. Affordability is the competition keeps pornography at a low price or for free. And that there is anonymity, whereby users perceive this to be in secret. There have been a number of technological developments in the late 1980s. McLough in 2015 stated that the invention of the Video Graphics Array, or VGA, allowed for images to be rendered on PC. Hard drives allowed for the storage of personal files, and internet allowed for computer networking, which perpetuated the distribution and trade of pornography. Australian statistics show that according to Bernstein 2017, 1 in 5 had their first exposure to internet pornography on handheld devices, and 12% first exposed to it in school. McKee, Aubrey, and Lumby 2008 estimated that 1 in 3 Australian adults consumed pornography. Fleming et al. 2006 found that 13 to 16-year-old males used more pornography than females, whereby 93% of males used pornography while 62% of females used pornography in that age group. This was collected from Fleming, Greentree, Cocordi, Mueller, Elias, and Morrison 2006. In addition, violence and pornography. Pornography often depicts high-risk behaviors. Only 2 to 3% of heterosexual porn uses condoms, according to Gorman, Monk, Tuna, Fish 2010. This is a public health concern since it influences sexual attitudes, behaviors, and norms, affecting the sexual socialization of young people by changing their beliefs as to what is normative, acceptable, and rewarding, according to Wright, Sons, Stephan, and Tokanaga 2014. Objectification theory from sociology. Fredrickson and Roberts in 1997 defined sexual objectification as the division of a woman's/man's body parts or sexual functions as being distinct from their personhood. This was exacerbated from pornography, since porn focused on female genitalia compared to the actor's face, according to Fritz and Paul 2017. Porn portrayed women as sexual objects existing for male gratification. Men are shown as physically violent and socially powerful, encouraging gendered sexual behaviors. This reinforced assumptions about gendered sexual behaviors, according to Fredrickson and Roberts 1997. Sexual script theory, learning and behavior psychology. Huseman in 1996 affirmed that acquisition, activation, and application of behavior scripts were used to allow individuals to understand how things work. Acquisition occurred when individuals observed, learning new behavioral scripts, according to Wright 2011. Activation of scripts occurred in the retrieval of cues from violent media applied in different contexts, aka in one's own sexual relationships. Pornography normalizes sexual acts that most women deem to be painful or degrading, according to Crabb and Collette 2010. This affects the youth's ability to respect, consent, and have mutual pleasure in sex. Analyzing 22 studies from 7 countries, Wright, Tokanga, and Kreis 2015 conducted a meta-analysis and found that consumption was correlated with sexual aggression among both men and women. This was seen both in longitudinal and cross-sectional studies, and associations became stronger for verbal compared to physical sexual aggression, but both were significantly correlated with porn usage. Exposure of children to porn. Most mainstream and free porn sites have no barriers to those under 18. 37% of Australians viewing porn before the age of 16. In the 50s, only 37% of Australians viewed porn under the age of 16. That figure has risen to 79% in 2000, according to McKee in 2010. Unintentional exposure of Australian children to porn occurred for 84% of 16 to 17-year-old boys, which was greater compared to girls, according to Flood 2007. 45% said first exposure between the ages of 12 to 14, according to Bernstein 2017. The APS in 2016 submitted that no porn should be viewed for children under 12. They advocated for sex education to critique what youths see on internet pornography. Baker in 2016 found that teachers and young people agreed schools should teach and discuss about the risks of porn viewing, but there has been growing resistance to education that exists since there is no universally taught internet pornography education programs in Australian schools. Instead, schools choose to address this with limited presentations or advice by outside agencies or experts on digital safety. In conclusion, we looked at internet pornography, violence, objectification, and education. We looked at the statistics from Pornhub, the United Kingdom Digital Economy Act. We looked at Cooper's 1998 AAA engine, as well as the technological developments in the late 1980s, according to McLaw. We also looked at the Australian statistics. We saw the effects of violence and pornography, as well as the objectification of women or men. We also viewed sexual script theory, how pornography normalizes sexual acts that might be deemed as painful or degrading. We looked at the correlation of sexual aggression and porn consumption, as well as the exposure of children to pornography. And we finally looked at the APS's recommendations on restricting porn usage, as well as resistance to sex education by the education establishment and schools. Ultimately, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.